What is going on, everybody? Thank you for clicking the link. This is your boy Crisis20. So guys, I am so amped up right now. Anthem just released a new gameplay demo. All right, this demo was showcased at E3, so that's what you'll be seeing today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in my own twist along with some facts. So no further ado, this is what you guys will be learning today. So the person you're playing as today is a freelancer. All right, anybody that goes into a Javelin is pretty much a freelancer. So what you're looking at right now is called a Colossus. All right, it's a type of Javelin. Basically, it is considered a tank. What it lacks in mobility, you'll get it back in strength. And this area right here is called the Strider. So here are a couple tweets about the Strider. Stay Grease asks, will we be able to decorate the Strider? Mark Darrow replies, likely no. So I guess we cannot really customize the Strider the way we want to as far as inside is concerned. So that answers that. JD asks Mark Darrow, what is the Forge? Mark Darrow replies and says, that's where you customize and personalize your Javelin. So if the Strider is to customize your Javelin as well, then I guess in this particular area is within the Forge. So I guess the Forge is a bigger place and the Strider is something smaller inside. Maybe I should ask him that question and see if he could better clarify that, but that's what I got from just reading those two tweets. Ralph asks, can you switch Javelins from inside the Strider, or will you have to return to Fort Tarsis to change your Javelin? Mark Darrow replies, you can switch in the Strider. So it's pretty much self-explanatory. If you want to switch from your Storm to your Colossus to Interceptor, you could, things like that. So now looking at this menu now, it really looks smooth. It really looks intuitive. It looks easy. You can always find your groups real fast. It's not buried in menus. It's literally right there and just invite people. I really like that about Anthem. Parzival asks, this is the whole map or bigger? Mark Darrow replies and says, that is not the whole map. There's probably more on the map than just this particular screen that they showed in the demo. So I believe personally it's going to be huge. Just judging from what it looks like here, it looks like it's probably vast. Also, Dark Drift 3 asks, will Anthem have fast travel points? Mark Darrow replies, yes. So I assume that these points, or maybe they might be different icons on the map, there'll be fast travel points and we could travel from fort to fort or wherever on the map. So while this Javelin loads up, let's hear some tweets related to the Javelin. Stevenger asks, I have a few questions, Mark Darrow. Is that legendary gear that we see in the demo video? Number 2, will the map be available entirely at the beginning, or will we unlock zones as playing the main story? 3, will there be a dual screen option for consoles and maybe PC? Mark Darrow replies and says, there is some legendary gear in the demo. 2, open world map, all opens right away. Dual screen, as in split screen, no plans for that. Split screen is kind of a lost art now. I don't think a lot of games are inheriting split screen. I couldn't see this game split screen, but then again, I did forget that, you know, there's a lot of people that have 2 people in a household that want to play the same game at the same time. So I guess it was a good question to ask. Following up from split screen, Camilla F asks, hey Mark, how are you? So I have a question. What about split screen? Yes or no? If no, why? It is not possible. Mark Darrow replies, no split screen. From an optimization standpoint, it is a completely different problem set from internet multiplayer. So that pretty much answered that question. They're really not going into split screen. Gage Foreman asks, if I'm playing with friends and they end up skipping a cutscene, will it skip for me also? Mark Darrow replies, no. Any cutscenes that you all see will be unskippable. These are rare. So I'm assuming that maybe some cutscenes you'll be able to skip, but not the majority of the cutscenes. So that's what I'm getting when he says these are rare. And lastly, Blackcry asks, Will javelins be vaulted over time? By that I mean, will certain javelins not be obtainable after a couple years? Or will there be javelins that are not available after a certain amount of time? Mark Darrow replies, not planning to do that. So I guess this makes sense, because you don't want to think that you're building up a javelin and then all of a sudden it's going to be obsolete because you have to then upgrade another javelin or something like that. So I get why that question is asked. So as you can see here, this Colossus is flying throughout the air. There's a bar at the bottom of the Colossus as you're flying, and it's going outward in white. That is the javelin's flying gauge. There's a limit to how far you can fly. The Colossus is heavy. It takes a lot for it to fly, but your gauge is not as long as the other javelins. When that white bar touches the two red lines on the either side of that bar, it will cause your javelin's jets to overheat. It needs to cool down. They have placed all throughout the game waterfalls or things that'll cool your jets while you're flying to make you fly for longer periods of time, which you just seen just now. Here are some tweets regarding this. Dark Drift 3 asks, can you die from fall damage? Example, your thrusters overheating and you fall out of the sky. Mark Darrow replies, it is possible. Also, Toast asks, if you are full on health in any javelin, is there a certain altitude that is instantly lethal to fall from? Currently, if you are at full health with full shields, I don't think you can do enough fall damage to kill yourself. I figured I'll include those tweets because I'm sure you were thinking what happens if you overheat on your gauge. So there you go. Mark Darrow wanted to give us an update on the damage floating numbers. Mark Darrow says, oh, and an update on the most common question of all. So he shows a picture, and pretty much this picture just tells you that yes, you can change the floating numbers that you see when you're damaging an enemy. So the first one that's highlighted says damage floaties enabled. So you can either turn that off and on, completely off or completely on. Then you could change the opacity to 0 to 100%, basically to see through the numbers instead of having them solid. Like you can see them in front of you and blocking the opponent and stuff like that, so you can't see. So you could change the transparency pretty much. Also, you could change the damage floaty size, basically the size of the floating numbers, making it from 0 to 100%, small or large. And another thing to notice, you can actually see where you're getting hit from by the indicator signals that are flying off in front of your screen by your aiming cursor. In the next moment or so, you're gonna see a storm join the mission. So let's talk about some tweets about joining missions. WolfKid07 asks, if a friend joins you in a mission, do they complete the mission in their storyline too, or do they have to redo it to earn the completion? Mark Darrow replies, they will complete it. So that's really good, but let me follow it up with this other tweet. Lancelot Rose asks, does this include if they joined mid-mission or even if they skipped some missions? Mark Darrow replied, no. So I think this is good, because even if you join midway or if you join in the very beginning, you still get the same full credit as if you were to join midway. I'm sure you would miss out on drops or anything like that, but at least you don't have to redo the whole mission all over again, because I'm sure these missions are probably a little long, maybe 15 whatever minutes or whatever, but no one wants to go through the whole mission again unless you're a completionist. So now we're about to dive underwater. Here's a quick tweet about underwater. J Carr asks, in Anthem, will our javelin suits be able to stay underwater indefinitely, or will there be limits to this? Example, oxygen/depth pressure. Mark Darrow replies, you can run out of oxygen. So really quick, let me show you the gauge bar. So in this clip, Colossus picks up some items. So let's go over some tweets about items. David Regali asks, will there be a vault or stash where we can store extra items we are using? Mark Darrow replies, yes. Also, Fabulous Cow 19 asks, when you get drops in the world, do you have to pick them up, or do you still get them even if you don't pick them up? Mark Darrow replies, pretty sure you still get them anyway. So these are both pretty good questions. It is vital that we have some type of inventory when playing Anthem, so that's kind of a given. When you're playing open world shooters and things like that, most games like that would have a vault of some kind. And also the big key here, even if you miss picking up items, they'll go to your vault anyway of wherever that is. So I think that's pretty cool. You don't have to really pick up every single item, and if you missed it, you're like lucked out. It still somehow gets to your vault. So I think that's pretty good. The Colossus also might have a stun ability as well. I'm going to slow this clip down. If you look at it real quick, the Colossus builds up its attack and then blasts the attack at the enemy. And as you can see, it just gets stiff and fall. So maybe the Colossus has a possible stun ability in its lineup. Also guys, if you didn't notice, with the Colossus, when combining his multiple missile attack with the Ranger's ice grenade, when the combo goes off, it extends the freeze. The freeze actually extends out to freeze other enemies as well. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. But take a look at it. Here's a quick tweet. Dakota Vasali asks if you can damage yourself, like set yourself on fire or freeze yourself. Jonathan Warner says, no, you can't damage yourself. So there you have it guys. So go ahead and flamethrower away and ice grenade away. So the rest of these tweets are about Anthem and things that you might not know about Anthem. So here we go. Todd asks, is there more locations than caves and woods in the world of Anthem? Mark Darrow replies, yes. Here are some tweets about the time setting in Anthem. Childish Boy asks, how long is night and day? Mark Darrow replies, I forget the exact numbers. I think full cycle is less than an hour. E or Mr. Charming 16 asks, how is day and night controlled in Anthem? Mark Darrow replies, it is set on the server. I found this kind of interesting. Odie asks, does the time of day impact enemy types / behaviors? Mark Darrow replies, yes. This would be very good for the game because it would vary the difficulty too because of the time of day. So if you're easier in the daytime and harder in the nighttime, I guess it would be cool because then they could base strongholds on the time of day, and maybe they'll tell you inside the description that it's night or day or whatever the case is, or maybe it will just depend on the time that you get there. So there's a lot of variables and things to think about when it comes to this. AsphyxEvents asks, will we be able to get different melee weapons or are they specific to each javelin? I would love to get swords and stuff. Please tell me if they are swords. Mark Darrow replies, they are specific to each javelin for now. And he didn't answer the swords question, so I guess he wants to leave us in limbo about the swords. Switch Clips asks, will Anthem have melee weapons, and if so, what different types? Mark Darrow replies, yes to melee weapons, 1 per javelin at the moment. Stay Grease asks, will there be different melee weapons? Will melee focused builds be a feasible / viable option for combat? Mark Darrow replies, no melee only builds at launch. Also, if you look at this clip, it seems like there might be another effect that javelins can get. So obviously they could freeze you, they could set you on fire, but it looks like there's an acid too, or a poison of some sort. Check how this javelin reacts to either the acid pool or whatever that pool is, or poison pool, whatever. Check how it reacts to it. So these 2 tweets I have for you guys is going to talk about the funds or the money in Anthem. Frank Goodall asks, is there a limit on funds we carry? But Mark Darrow replies, no. So that's good. It's not like Destiny, you know, Destiny which limits you to money. It forces you to spend money. But in this case, we don't have to worry about that. So that's good. Jake Thompson asks, will premium currency be purely cosmetic, better legendary gear, or a mix? Mark Darrow replies and says, purely cosmetic. All the premium funds, which is our actual money, not in-game currency, but our actual money, that is going to be put towards pure cosmetics. Thy Fiker asks, hello bro, after watching the gameplay of Anthem, it didn't seem really challenging. Are strongholds meant to be easy that way? Mark Darrow replies, no. These are very experienced players playing on difficulty balanced to allow reliable captures and choreography. I'm trying to figure out how he would think it's a little easy because they skipped a lot of the encounters, but maybe the boss he's concerned with, because the boss just seemed pretty much like a bullet sponge. You just gotta hit its weak points. So I get where he's coming from a little bit, but he can't just automatically say that it looks easy, you know. So another tweet about this demo, Battlefront FR asks, hey, so the demo we saw at EA Play is actually a Stronghold. Isn't that an end game activity, or there's some during the story that you can do? Mark Dower replies, we unlocked some along the way. There is an additional Elder Game mode that we will talk about later. To me, this was expected, because if you're playing a Stronghold and it's sort of like a raid, then yeah, you'll have to get a taste of it while you're leveling up before you actually get to the Elder Game mode. So it's kind of self-explanatory in this particular case, but I guess he just needed to know. I also have a quick tweet about the ultimates. Fork Boy Gaming asks, how many different type of supers does each Javelin have? Does gear change which one you can do? Mark Darrow replies and says, currently there is one ultimate per Javelin, but more could be added later. This is good because, one, we're only going to have one ultimate per Javelin, but it's good that they can create more later. It just gives us hope, something to look forward to. So I think that's pretty good, at least for now anyway. So that about wraps it up for me as far as tweets, but there's one other thing I want to show you guys that I noticed that probably most of you guys didn't pick up on, but here it is. Check it out. Now watch this next clip. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't see that one. I bet y'all didn't notice it. Yeah, but I did. But anyway, just a little something extra to throw at you guys. I just figured I threw that in for some kicks and giggles. So again, like and subscribe, guys, because I'm gonna give you some more Anthem vids until it drops. And just stay with me, guys. More is gonna be pumping along. This is your boy Crisis 20, and I'll catch you guys at another Anthem breakdown. Peace.